Yeah, that's a good camera.
Yeah.
I am using Minolta or Olympus.
Hey guys, so today we'll be using the Canon 7 rangefinder from 1961. It shoots 35mm film. It takes Leica thread mount lenses. It's built like a tank. And more specifically, I wanted to review the lens that it came with. And instead of me sitting and talking for 20 minutes like I did in my previous video, I decided to go to downtown Toronto and do some photography. So I hope you like what you see. If you do, click the thumbs up, subscribe. If you have any questions, just ask them in the comments. Thanks. Alright, so we arrived in Toronto, we're parked. It's a bit sunnier outside than I would have hoped, and that is because we're going to be shooting with the Canon 50mm F0.95 Dream lens. And yeah, why would you want to lug around such a massive lens if you can't shoot wide open, right? But I got a 4X ND filter on here. I also have a medium yellow filter, and I have it loaded with L4 Delta 100. So with the ND filter, I'll bring it down to about ISO 25, and the medium yellow filter will bring it down a tad more, about half a stop. And with the max shutter speed of 1/1000 of a second, I should be able to shoot wide open most of the time. Probably not in direct sunlight, but I'll shoot wide open when I can and stop it down a tad when I have to. Alright, so I brought my spot meter with me, and I'm going to see if I can shoot wide open. I got it set to ISO 25, and I'm going to take a look at the shadows first, and they're about EV of 12. So if I use the zone scale at 12, that's about, it is about a shutter speed of 1/1000th wide open. And if we look at, let's see, highlight 14, roughly 1/2000. So probably in the shadows, since it's a bit cloudy, I can shoot wide open. So let's see. Alright, I stuck on a little point of view camera, so you'll be able to see the shots I'm taking, and I always like to review, see what I took, and see the exact moment I captured, so it should be interesting. So I haven't shot with this camera since last year, and one thing I forgot about is how heavy it is. It's about 2 pounds with no grip. So basically you're pinch gripping it or you're holding it like this. That's the only two ways. So another thing I forgot about is how slow this camera is to focus. The focus throw is really long, and there's a fair amount of resistance on the focus ring. So it's not super quick to focus. It's always best to more or less preset your focus distance and fine tune it from there. But yeah, it's not as quick as the Rolly, that's for sure. frames so far, which if this was medium format, it would have been a full roll by now. But one thing I know is I gotta get better at focusing with a rangefinder. I'm so used to focusing on ground glass that I'm slow with the rangefinder, and wide open at f.95, the depth of field is really shallow, so you really can't make a mistake with focus. It's pretty critical. So I'm hoping that these photos will turn out, but I know from the past that if you're off by a little bit, it really shows. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to show you guys is how much the lens obstructs the viewfinder. And it's quite a bit, especially once you got the lens hood on and a couple of filters. About 3/4 of the frame is just lens. Luckily, the magnification on the viewfinder is pretty high, so you can keep your other eye open and kind of see what's being covered up and more or less get the right framing. But let me show you. So I've shot 30 frames so far. Forgot how long it takes to roll a 35mm film. One thing I'm doing though is I'm stopping down when it's sunny, really sunny out, and I'm kind of just trying to guesstimate what the exposure is. We'll see how accurate I am when we get home and develop the film, but fingers crossed that it's close enough. Alright, so I hope you guys liked that review. Some concluding thoughts on the Dream lens. Wide open, it's pretty soft. If there's bright highlights, there tends to be this halo effect, which kind of just adds to the softness of the image. Depending on what you're going for, you might like it, you might not like it. The bokeh can be pretty busy at times. It's not buttery smooth like a Summicron or a Summilux, but it has its own character. And it really, it doesn't always work. You'd have to find subjects that kind of suit the bokeh, I find. Yeah, there's also quite a bit of vignetting, so the corners tend to have quite a bit of light fall off. Also what I've noticed is the depth of field actually increases near the corners. So it's like, it's hard to explain. Basically, the shallowest depth of field is roughly in the middle of the frame. Then, as you go to the outside of the frame, the depth of field increases. Not significantly, but it's noticeable, I find. Also, it's pretty low contrast, wide open. So if you're shooting black and white, you'll want a filter just to improve contrast. Again, depending what you're going for. Once you stop it down to about f2 of 2.8, the contrast improves significantly, and it looks very similar to any other lens I've used at that point. Yeah, so it just depends on what you're looking for. If this is something you want to try using, If the look is what you like, then there's really there's no other real substitute. I know there's some modern lenses out there that are 0.95 or faster, but they don't render like the Canon. The Canon has its own special rendering. Yeah, so what else can I say? Yeah, so it's a very unique lens. It's very specialized. It's not something you're gonna carry with you all the time, because unless I used to do a lot of nighttime street photography, so I found the lens really useful because at night you need the speed, but during the day, why would you lug around such a heavy lens? That's kind of what was I gonna say? It's very specialized, so it's not like a generic, like it's not like a 50 f2 that you can use pretty much anywhere. With a lens like this, it's very specialized in what it can do, and to justify hauling that weight around a camera this big, you're going to be using it for a specific purpose, and that's usually to achieve that shallow depth of field or get that character in your images. But yeah, if you have any questions, just ask them in the comments. I'll answer them, and if you have suggestions, again, let me know, and see what I can do for the next video. Thanks.
Is God is offering you the Holy Spirit. The kingdom, what heaven is the presence of God.